Hello, St. Mark's. I'm here at the church just doing a little bit of practicing today. Notice how empty this place is without all of you here. Look at those empty pews. Look at the empty choir area. It's a little bit lonely, I have to admit. But I thought I'd share something fun with you today, just a little bit about the organ. Most of you see me sitting over here doing my thing, but you may not have any idea what's going on or how I make it happen. So I thought I'd share a little bit about that today. So the first thing is that this part right here, many of us think that is the organ, but the organ actually goes all the way around the church. So for example, you can see behind me all of that gray stuff up there. There's speakers behind those panels, so the sound comes from there. There are also speakers way over here in the sanctuary. So from behind the altar, if you look up above, those black things up there, those are the speakers for the sanctuary. So we actually have speakers in two parts of our building. Let me walk back over here and show you one up close. So here are some speakers in this little cabinet over here by the banner. See how big these speakers are? These are for the pedal area, part of the organ, the lowest notes. So that gives you an idea of some of the electronics. Oh, there's one other place. I forgot about this over here. So on the other side of the choir, you can see we have a bunch of switches. So the choir gets to hear these moving quite a bit during a service as I move stops around. So, and another part of the electronic system is actually inside the organ here, inside the console. You can see all those cards and switches, and you can see the back of the keys there. You can see the black box over there is the recording device. So here's another shot of the organ console. You can see that we have 3 keyboards, 1, 2, 3. You can see that these are called stops over at the sides, stops over here too. And then we have pistons underneath each one of the manuals there. We have more pistons down here that you can hit with your feet. We call those toe studs since you use your toes to hit them. These are called swell pedals. This controls the volume of the organ. This is the crescendo, which you use to add stops without having to pull them out by hand. You can just do it with your foot. And also we have the pedal board down there. That is in fact a keyboard that you play with your feet. Why do we have 3 manuals? Why is there only 1 on the piano over there and there are 3 on the organ? Well, the answer is so that we can have different sounds. You'll notice a lot of time that when I play the organ, you'll hear the melody coming from one sound, and then you'll hear the accompaniment coming from another sound. And then sometimes you hear the very low bass notes coming from another sound, and that's played with my feet. Now, to get all those different sounds, we have what we call stops. You can see that each one of these knobs has a different thing written on it, followed by a number. And then over here, same deal, lots of different things and numbers. The best way to think of it is that the organ is like playing an orchestra. So I can play a flute sound. I can play a trumpet sound. I can play a string sound. And I can combine a lot of different sounds like an orchestra. 2 flutes, a violin, 2 4-foot flutes, a mixture here, and I can combine all of these reeds, and I get this sound. If you see a stop with an 8 at the bottom, that means that the note on the keyboard on the manual is the same as on the piano. So here's middle C on the organ. It would sound the same on the piano. Now, if you find another stop that has a 4 on it, it will play an octave higher. So you'll have 2 octaves playing with this one middle C here. Then if you have one with a 2, it plays another octave higher. Then if you have a 16, it plays an octave lower. See how they're lined up here? It's very convenient. Pull the 16 and you're actually playing an octave lower. So with one finger, I'm playing 4 octaves right now. Now, there are also numbers on here that are, you see this one has a Roman numeral. That tells me not the pitch that it's playing, but by the name of the stop, which is a mixture, and the Roman numeral, I know how many different pitches this particular stop will add, and they add on top of the 2 foot, so it goes higher pitch than that. You've heard me mention the pedal division several times. It's over here to my left, and then I play it with my feet. Let me show you a few things down there. So we have 16s, we have 8s, we have 4s down here, so we can pull those, and then I can play with my feet. Then down on the pedal, since it plays the very, very lowest notes, we also have a 32-foot stop, which is very low. And those sounds are coming from those speakers over there in the corner. We also have what we call a reed stop, like a trumpet stop that plays in that range, and it sounds really funny. The kids from the school love it when I play these notes. We have a few stops that don't actually make sounds, but tell the organ to do different things. So for example, you see all of these buttons underneath the manuals, we call those pistons. And what we can do with a piston is whenever we hit the piston, you notice there's no stops out there. When I press the piston, we can move a whole bunch of stops really quickly. And things are moving all around me on both sides. If you look closely at each area, you'll notice that there are also these stops at the top that don't have any numbers. That's a clue that the stop doesn't actually make a sound on its own, but they can allow you to do different things. So for example, we have the tremulant here, there's a tremulant there, there's one over on the swell. So if I played this flute sound without the tremulant on, this is what it sounds like. But if I pulled a tremulant, you get that wavy sound to the pitch. At the top of each division, we also have what we call couplers. This is a choir to great coupler, a swell to great coupler, swell to choir coupler, for example. They use the shortened terms on here. And that allows me to combine stops from various divisions with stops from this division. So for example, if we pull out the 8-4-2 stops here on the grades, we can pull out the 8-foot trumpet here on the swell. Notice they're separate. But if I pull this stop, I can play them all together. Then I can also do the same from the choir. Let's say I wanted to add this mixture sound, which sounds like this. Then I pull the coupler, and we're playing 3 divisions with one hand. I mentioned these were called swell pedals. And so what happens with the swell pedal is if you play a chord and you go up with your foot like you're pressing down an accelerator pedal, it gets louder. And if you push down with your heel, it gets softer. Over here on the far right, we have the crescendo pedal. So if I hold a chord with no stops out, there's no sound. But if I slowly push the crescendo like an accelerator pedal, it slowly adds stops until all of them are on. That's the basics of the organ. There's a lot more that I could demonstrate, but I think taking the knowledge you have right now and applying it's the best thing to do. So let me play hymn 690 for you, hymn 690. If you want to sing along, I'll play all 3 verses. hope you enjoyed the organ demonstration today. Unfortunately, I won't see all of you on Sunday, but you can tune in on Sunday morning and hear me and Father Jim and Father Sanford and Deacon Mimi as we do the service here at St. Mark's. See you soon.